Hello, hello! You are listening to CPA Career Path podcast with Rosie Flaherty, CPA MSA. In this episode number 16, we have a discussion about the CPA journey with Blaise Wabble, CPA, CISA, CITP, CCSK, and CCSFP. He is a healthcare and financial services director at Ally.
Awesome. So hi, Blaise. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Haven't talked to you for so long since the AICPA Leadership Academy.
I know. How are things going down there with you? Are everything going well?
Yes, busy. Feel like the busy season never ends. That's the problem.
Never ends.
Nope.
Yeah. That's the profession, right?
I know, right? Before we start, I just want to say thank you so much for your time to be with me today for the interview. And I would love to know more about your career path, how you get to where you are right now. And so first and foremost, can you just introduce a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Blaise Wabble, and I currently am a knowledge leader in cybersecurity. I work for a cybersecurity firm based out in Tampa, Florida, but I live in beautiful Denver, Colorado. The niche of cybersecurity that we do is focused on security compliance, security and privacy compliance. So if there are any security or privacy regulation or law, and a company handles that sort of data, for example, in the healthcare space, medical records are protected by HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. That was a law that was passed in 1996 by President Bill Clinton that protects the medical records of every U.S. resident. That's an example. In California, there's a CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act, that protects the PII information of every California resident. In Colorado, we have the Colorado Privacy Act, the CPA. In Europe, they have GDPR, which everybody's familiar with GDPR. So if there are security rules and regulations or laws, and a company transacts, processes, or stores that data, they are required to follow those rules and regulations from a compliance standpoint. So our firm, what we do is we do IT audits to provide an opinion or an attestation report or a certification against those different standards. So in college, I studied accounting and computer information systems. Started my career doing SOX 404 testing with KPMG. But the niche in which I am, I still needed the CPA license because we issue SOC 1 and SOC 2 reports that falls under the SSAE 21. So the Statements on Standards of Attestation Engagement. So you still need to be a licensed CPA from the issue of SOC 1 and SOC 2 reports. So that's how my license comes in handy.
So you mentioned that you studied in accounting in college. So I'm wondering if you can just explain, why did you choose accounting in the first time? Did someone recommend you, or you see someone doing accounting and you want to do it?
Sure, that's a great question. So unfortunately for me, I did not have a choice but to study accounting in college. And the reason why is because my dad, as a CPA himself, he had a tax practice. And we were 6 kids, and I'm originally from Cameroon. And my dad, for his 6 kids, he gave us no option but to study accounting. From his point of view, accounting was the way to succeed in life. So all 6 of us had to study accounting, and the condition was, in order for him to pay our college education here in the United States, which he did for all of us, we had to study accounting. So I had no choice but to study accounting. Out of all my siblings, I'm the only one that added a double major. I added computer information systems to my major. So I graduated with those 2 degrees, and I took the CPA shortly thereafter. And I have some other designations in the computer information systems side, but the CPA is one of them as well.
So do you really enjoy accounting classes? Because you said that
Well,
your dad asked you to do so. So I'm wondering, did you really have a good time?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my accounting classes. I did not care much for taxes. I think tax was very complex, at least for me. Even to today, I struggle when I do my taxes, even though I'm a CPA. But I did enjoy my accounting classes. I think accounting has a particular way to make you think differently. I think when you have an accounting background, you think about things differently. You see numbers differently. You think about business a little differently. So that's one part of of my accounting background that really helped me into just business today. So
Oh, I see. And I noticed that you graduated with a really high GPA, 3.78. And did you just finish in 3 years?
that is correct. That is correct. So I
Wow.
did two majors in 3 years. A lot of college, especially the first 18 months, was a repetition of high school. So all the science classes that I had to take, like math, and all the other science classes, are all things that I did in college. So every semester I was taking 21 credits and I was going to summer school. And the reason I finished in 3 years was because, back home, a college degree is only 3 years. So the idea of my classmates being ahead of me did not sit very well with me. So I made sure I took as many credits as I could during the semester, and I also went to summer school just to be on par with my classmates back home. So
Wow, that's impressive. I know what you mean about taking 21 credits because I finished my degree in 3 years as well. And I think one semester I took 21 credits and my professor asked me to get a dean letter to confirm that I can take 21 credits because they worried that I may drop out because it's too much. I don't know, how can you find time with a high GPA, 3 years, and then you're also involved in so many activities? I see that you're president of the accounting club organization as well.
I would say that I mentioned the fact that a lot of classes were repetition from high school for me, um, but I had good friends that I was able to study with.
Mhm.
I had a good community system. Coming to the United States as an international student, I made friends easily, and I was able to get settled into the culture relatively quickly. And my faith as well. My faith encouraged me to keep working hard and try to manage a lot of things at a different time. I strongly believe that college is more than just your grades. You have to network, right? So as part of the professional college of business, I was getting involved in different professional organizations and being a servant or a leader on different those as well. Kind of helped me to network, and it gave me opportunities to find internships and job after college as well. So
Is that why you lead to the KPMG position after graduation?
yes, part of that came through one of my organizations called NABA, National Association of Black Accountants. I had a colleague there or a classmate there that referred me to KPMG. But prior to that, during college, I also interned with Deloitte in one of the summers as well. An internship with Deloitte, so all those kind of helped me.
So I was wondering, how was your experience working at KPMG as an audit associate?
It was good. It was very busy. Um, my client at the time was called CenturyTel, and they were going through a merger with Embark and Quest Communication. The later became the company that is today called CenturyLink. I was on the client during the merger, so it was crazy hours. We're working about 100 hours per week, literally. Um, and I was not at KPMG too long for that reason because my wife was pregnant at the time, and she said, you can't continue this life. So
Wow, 100 hours per week for how long? For how many weeks?
For the entire busy season, essentially from mid October through like April.
Whoa, hold on. So the busy season starts from October to
Because
April.
they were doing, in this case, they were going through a merger. So our business season started very early and, did not finish till after filing.
And 100 hours per week? The whole time?
On average, yes.
Wow. An
Yeah,
average. So it means
we
sometimes you
worked
work
on
even more than that.
Saturday. Yeah, we worked on Saturday and Sundays. I mean, I remember going on Sundays at 10 a.m. in the morning and leaving at 10 p.m. and having to be back in the office on Monday morning at 8 a.m. So
I heard a lot that working at Big Fours, you have to work a lot of hours. But besides working on a lot of hours, what benefits you got from working at KPMG?
I think the professional experience was incredible. I had a great senior that I'm still in contact with her today. Her name is Donna Boone. She was a great ally, mentor for me early in my career. And I learned a lot as well at KPMG. You have a lot of smart people and experienced people that work there. My senior manager, Brian Ham, my partner, I forget his name. I know his last name was Black. I forget what his first name was, but I had a great team that took the time to kind of teach me, how to do basic auditing and reviews and things like that as well. So the professional experience was incredible. Also the networking opportunities. I was able to network with great professionals that I'm still in contact with today. After several years.
So working at KPMG gave you a strong foundation before you go
Absolutely,
anywhere else to work on any other jobs.
absolutely.
I see. So do you still keep in touch? You said you keep in touch with the senior, but do you still keep in touch with other people in the team that you work at KPMG?
I have some coworkers that will just send messages on LinkedIn. But that's mostly it. Just one of my seniors that I'm still in contact with her, occasionally, and we met in person a few times this year. So yeah.
So based on your experience working at KPMG, so for people who wonder if they should go to Big Four or not, would you recommend to go for Big Four or would you not?
It depends on what your life situation looks like and what your objectives as well in terms of your professional career are. If your objective is to be a partner in a big four firm or in a big firm, going through a big four, it certainly helps. If your objective is to be a CFO at a Fortune 500 company, going through a big four will help. However, know that your life during that time at a big four will be pretty tasking. The office I worked for was the Shreveport, Louisiana office. So it was a smaller office. We had a big client. We didn't have a lot of teammates. Our office only had like 50 employees, 50. That's why one of the reasons why we were working so many hours, right? We had to bring in the Kansas City team to actually help us. But larger office, if you work for a larger office, a larger Big Four office, you might have a different experience. So my experience, I don't think is everybody's experience. Big Four experience can be rewarding. It's great on your resume. It sets you ahead in order to get a better career in the future. If you want to be a partner or a CFO at a Fortune 500 company, I will recommend if you want to be at a Big Four, at least hit manager before you leave. Anything before manager doesn't really help your career much. I wasn't at KPMG for too long, just about a year. But in order to reap the full benefits, I recommend staying at least till you hit manager. If you plan on having a family early, which I did, I started having a family very early. It could be very difficult on the family. It's easier to manage if you are single. Not that it's impossible, but it's easier, especially if you have children. And I had children early on as well. So
How many kids do you have?
We have 3 kids now, and we're done. So
How old are they? Are they still a little, or are they all teenager age now?
They're spread across. Our oldest is 12. He's in middle school. So he was born right at the time when I was leaving KPMG. Actually, I left KPMG just a month before he was born. So then our daughter is 7, and our youngest child he is 2. So we have 3 kids spread across from 12, 7, and 2.
Wow, that's a good gap.
It is
among
a good
all
gap.
three.
The olders help with the younger ones. So
Yeah. So the 12-year-old now can watch the 2 years old one, so you don't have to worry about that.
that is correct. Whenever we go out for date nights, he's the babysitter. He started babysitting about 6 months ago. So
Nice. But wow, 3 kids. That sounds like a lot of work. So your wife is doing accounting as well?
no, she's not. So she was courageous enough to be home with the kids.
Oh, that's so
She's in
great of her.
HR. She's in
Oh,
HR. So but she took a pause on her career to be home with the kids this whole time. And our youngest, our 2-year-old, will be starting pre-K this fall. So she's considering going back to work. So
I admire so much women who willing to stay at home, watch kids, and stop working for a period of time. That's not easy. It's not easy.
it is not easy. It's a lot of work.
A lot of
She's
work.
busier
Yeah.
than I am. She's more busy than I am.
Yeah, it's like more than a full-time job.
That is correct.
Yeah. So go back to your work experience. So you work at KPMG for 1 year, and then after that you moved to Century Payments Inc. Is that an industry job, or is still in public accounting?
Industry job. So I was a senior accountant there. And at this time, we moved to Dallas, Texas area. And I was there for about 2.5 years. This was a payment processing company. So they process credit card payments for vendors and merchants. So enjoyed my experience there. And then Align, the company where I'm currently working at, I've been with them for 10 years. They reached out to me. They were growing their practice. They were a new company then, and they were hiring only for big four experience or ex big four experienced. And again, that's a way how my resume came in handy. That's how they even reached out to me. And also my combination with my background in accounting and computer information systems was good for this particular company and the industry in which I am, cybersecurity, because I had both the accounting background, the CPA license, but also the technology background in order to do IT audits.
I'm just curious about your transition from working 100 hours per week to move to private, to industry, working only 40 hours per week. How did you feel doing that transition? Your wife must be so happy.
Absolutely. We were still working about 50 hours a week, so not a traditional 40, but that was almost half of my time back, right? I did not have to work on weekends or anything like that. But to your point, having a new child, at the time my child was just less than a year old, and being there for him and seeing him grow was incredible and more rewarding, quite honestly.
That's amazing. And so when you work at, even for a short period of time, at the Century Payments Inc., you worked there for about 2 years or 2.5 years. How was the experience from KPMG coming helpful for you in the senior accountant position?
It helped me a lot. So I had more senior people that worked at Century Payments than me, including the CFO and the controller. They were relying on my knowledge to help do the books, quite honestly. So even though, I had a somewhat an entry level job, my peers and also my superiors, including the controller and the CFO, were looking to me in order to get the books in order and in order to plan the accounting plan for the year and things like that. So I would say that my career with KPMG was really helpful in order for me to understand the concepts and the basics of accounting. And again, that set me ahead of my peers and put me in a good position.
I see. And now talking about the company that you're working at for 10 years. That's a long time. 10 years. So for Ally, this company, you mentioned that when you were in college, you got double major accounting and MST, right?
MIS,
MIS.
Management Information Systems. Some schools call it CIS, Computer Information Systems. Yes. I've always loved technology. If my dad did not make me do accounting, I would have wanted to be a mechanical engineer to build stuff like planes or cars or something like that. In hindsight, I don't think I would have done very great at that because today I can barely do any work at home. My wife is the one changing the light bulbs and things like that. I'm not very handy. But yeah, my background in technology there helped me to be able to segue from traditional accounting to this very particular niche in cybersecurity called IT audits that we do today. So I'm grateful for that experience.
So I would love to know more about the position you are working on right now at your current company. Can you provide more details about what you do for cybersecurity IT audit?
So there are some reports that we issue that you have to be a CPA from to issue them. They're called SOC 2 and SOC 1 reports. Under the AICPA umbrella, those falls under the SSAE standards, which is the statement on standards of attestation engagement. Again, it's a very small niche. Actually, our firm is a top issuer of SOC 2 reports in the whole world, which means that there's no other firm in the world that issues more SOC 2 reports than my firm. We work very hand in hand with the AICPA. Matter of fact, we have so much experience that the AICPA looks to our firm to set the standards in the industry for SOC 1 and SOC 2 reports. But that's only a niche of what we do. We do other assessments like HIPAA, which is a healthcare law that was passed in 1996 by President Bill Clinton to protect the medical records of every U.S. resident. We do work on privacy laws. The federal sector is big for us. There's a NIST standard, NIST 800-53. There are also other different standards like FISMA, FedRAMP, CMMC, StateRAMP. These are all federal standards. So we do every security and privacy related audits or assessments or compliance that there are you can think of. If there is one, we'll probably do it. So that's the niche in which our firm focuses, and I thoroughly enjoy that as well.